Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom, shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, first and foremost, as always. All praise to the Most High for His mercy, His grace, and keeping us safe throughout these last days, bringing us closer and closer to Him, and keeping us in the faith and not taking away His Spirit away from us. Shalom to all the brethren, sincere brethren out there, whether on the highways and byways, just learning the truth, or you still building yourself up. However, the Most High got you going. Shalom, shalom to you. All praise to the Most High. And as you can see in the title of this video, right, this is about sin, right? This is about sin, the effects of sin, the scientifically proven effects of sin, and biblically proven effects of sin. And the reason why the Most High tells us He does not like sin and He does not want us to operate off of sin, right? Shalom to all the brethren. Let's get this real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 30. Right? Let's get this real quick. This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30 and verse 15. It says, "See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. And that I commend thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in His ways, and to keep His commandments and His statutes and His judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. And the Most High thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. But if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shalt be drawn away and worship other gods and serve them, I denounce unto you this day that ye shall surely perish, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land whether thou passest over Jordan to go possess it." Right? So the Most High God gave us clearly says that He gave us life and death. Right? And He told us to choose whatever we want, whichever we want, life or death. Because the Most High God is who? The Most High God, He created everybody at the end of the day, and He knows what's best. He knows what's best. And a lot of times when brethren are breaking down the commandments of the Most High, brothers go about it. They say, "Oh, just because the Most High God says so." But today we're gonna see that He says so. It's not just because it's just He just says so, right? We should be able to explain the reason why He tells us not to sin. Everything that He tells us, there's a reaction to it, right? Because the spirit realm affects the physical, right? And He created let me get this real quick. Baruch chapter 3. Right? He created everyone, so He knows what's going on, right? This is Baruch chapter 3 and 36. Well, I started 35. It says, "This is our God, and there shall none other be accounted of in comparison of Him. He has found out all the way of knowledge, and has given it unto Jacob His servant, and to Israel His beloved." So the Most High God, He found out all the ways of knowledge. He knows what's going on because He created everyone and everything. It's His math. It's His reality. It's His sacred geometry. He knows exactly what's going on. So that's why He tells us how to conduct ourselves, because everything, the way He created us, and we're going to see that through even ChatGPT going to tell you these things, right? And He created us a certain way that He put the life before us, and we got to choose life or death. And it's only because the way we're wired, just like Nicholas, I say Nicholas Tesla. What's his name? Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk created the Tesla vehicles. The Tesla vehicles, he came up with them, and all of them, they have their ways to be driven and to function. And Elon Musk have the manual and everything. But if those things don't operate the way that He calls it to, guess what's going to happen? These things are going to crash. right? Because they got the self-driven mode and all that stuff. They have brakes, they have gas pedals, they have rear view mirrors, they have cameras all over the sides, right? They have all these things ready for the safety and for the prevention of accidents and everything of the operator. But if the vehicle itself doesn't want to follow the directions, guess what's gonna happen? The vehicle gonna end up crashing, right? And so this is in a similitude, similar way that the Most High God has created us. This is what sin is to us. All right, sin is when we go against our own nature, against exactly who the Most High God have how the Most High God have created us to be. Let's get this real quick in Proverbs, right? Because this is Proverbs chapter 8:36. It says, "But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death." Right? When you sin against the Most High God, you're not doing anything against God. You right? You're not doing anything to the Most High God. Actually, let's get that in Job. Right? Job 35 and 5, and start at verse 6. It says, "If thou sinneth, what doest thou against him? Or if thy transgressions be multiplied, what doest thou unto him? If thou be righteous, what givest thou him? Or what receiveth he of thine hand? Thy weakness, thy wickedness may hurt a man as thou art, and thy righteousness may profit the Son of Man." Right? So these are things that when you sin against your own self. That's why it says in Proverbs 8:36. And right here in Job 35, it says what? When you sin, guess what? You don't do nothing against the Most High. You don't do nothing to him. It does not affect him. You're only affecting yourself. Just like the vehicle, right? A Tesla or whatever vehicle. If it's not functioning, the car is not functioning. The driver, the person is still good, right? For the most part, right? Unless in the carnal ways, crazy accidents, the person gets injured. But nonetheless, a car gets totaled, the car gets totaled in the first place. Right? Then the car is good for nothing, just for the junkyard. That's what happens when with sin. And we're gonna again dive more into it, because the Most High God, he created all these things and told us these things. He gave us his word because he knows the way of life. He told us to choose this day what we're gonna how we're gonna live. He put before us life or death, right? Let's go back to Deuteronomy 30 real quick, right? Right? Deuteronomy 30:15, it says, "See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil." All right, the Most High God told us, look, choose whatever we want to do. You want to choose good, this is how you live. This is how you preserve yourself. This is how you're going to live a long life. You want to live bad? Guess what's going to happen? You're going to die. You're going to only encounter evil. All right? Because why? Let's get this. Let's go to Revelation chapter 16. All right? Revelation 16. I believe I want verse 7. All right? It says, "And I heard another out of the altar, even so, say, even so, Lord God Almighty, true and righteous are thy judgments." True and righteous are the judgments of the Most High, right? Only him have true and righteous judgment. When you see righteous, that means they're right. Right is short for righteous, right? The word right is short for righteous. His judgment is right altogether. Why? Because he created all of us, right? We're his creation, and everything is the creation of the Most High that we see around us and that we don't see as well. And guess what? He knows the ins and out of it, just like Tesla, just like Elon Musk knows the ins and out of Tesla, the vehicle, right? They he knows the AI that runs it. He knows the manufacturer that puts it together. He knows everything about the car. So it's the same thing. And the Most High God, he tells us exactly what's going on, and he tells us his judgments. He tells us his law. He tells us exactly. Let's get this real quick. Let's go to Psalms 119. Psalm chapter 119. And start right here at verse 137. It says, righteous art thou, O Yahweh, and upright are thy judgments. Thy testimonies that thou hast commended are righteous and very faithful. Right? All his testimonies are righteous and very faithful. He's not lying in them. He's not saying anything that's not so. The Most High God knows everything. He knows the hearts of men, not only the hearts of men, but he knows the elements. He knows the virtues of everything. And now it goes on to say, verse 139, it says, my zeal has consumed me because mine enemies have forgotten thy word. Thy word is pure, is very pure. Therefore thy servant loveth it. The word of the Most High is very pure, right? There's nothing wrong with the word of the Most High. Now he has dark sayings and allegories and parables, but these things they stand true. He has prophecies, and all these things, they stand true. He has his laws, statutes, and commandments, which teaches us how to live. They are very true. They stand true even to this day. These things, they stand true. Let's go right here. Isaiah chapter 26 real quick. Right? This is Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 9. It says, with my soul have I desired thee in the night. Yeah, with my spirit within me will I seek thee early. For when thy judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. Right? All his judgments are supposed to teach us righteousness. When we see the Most High God destroys people or let so-called evil happen upon the earth, that's him teaching the world how to learn righteousness, to be upright. Verse 10, it says, let favor be shewed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Most High. Right? When you're a wicked person, why the Most High God says a wicked person cannot learn righteousness? Why a wicked person cannot learn righteousness? Wicked nations, regardless of what you do, whether they're in the land of righteousness, whether they you teach them the ways of the Most High, guess what's gonna happen? They will do wickedly. Why is that? Why is that? Because the Most High God is showing us something, and he has created us, right? He's the creator of everybody, and he has put us. Let's get this in Second Ezra real quick. Second Ezra chapter 3. I go straight to the point. It says, for the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, transgressed and was overcome, and so be all they that are born of him. Thus infirmity was made permanent, and the law also in the heart of the people, with the malignity of the root, so that the good departed away and the evil abode still. So the Most High God created us to have infirmity, meaning to have a wicked heart, and have his laws in our minds, right, in our hearts, to do what is convenient. But what happened between people in all societies, because of this society, what have they done? They have done this. Romans chapter 1 and verse 25. And after this, we're gonna go to ChatGPT to see exactly to see a breakdown of what happens when a person goes against their moral code, the moral code that the Most High God has already installed in us. All right. This is Romans chapter 1 and 25. It says, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie and worshiped and served the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Right? Who changed the truth of God into a lie? People have done so. Actually, let's get this other precept. People have done so. All right. The Most High God says this, Ecclesiastes 7 and 29. Lo, this only have I found, that the Most High has made men upright, but they have sought out many inventions. All right. The Most High God has given us his truth already. Right? He has put and installed his truth in all of mankind. And yes, that includes heathens and us. But everybody, right, chose to do wrong. And now the Most High God chose one nation, one race to guide the whole earth. Right? And that's the Hebrew Israelites. Right? He chose us to get ourselves perfect, and then we go and teach these other nations. Right? Let me try to prove that real quick. I believe Jeremiah 12. Right. I'm gonna get straight to the point. It starts from 14, but I just want to get straight to the point. It says, verse 16, Jeremiah 12 and 16 says, and it shall come to pass, if they will diligently learn the ways of my people, talking about the heathens, right? You can start at verse 14, but we read in verse 16, right? If they will diligently learn the ways of my people to swear by my name, the Lord liveth, Yahweh liveth, as they taught my people to swear by Baal, then shall they be built in the midst of my people. But if they will obey not, I will utterly pluck up and destroy that nation, saith the Lord. So that's what they're supposed to do. To learn from us what's going on, to learn the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. But we got to get ourselves right first and stop following and envying the oppressors, because the Most High God says this right here, Proverbs 4 and verse 7. It says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. And we're going to get understanding of why sin is bad. Right? What's the effects that it actually happens? And I know brothers typically go to answer these type of questions by saying, oh, because God says so. The Most High God says so. Or they just read the Bible and they don't really break it down. Just like people might ask, why we can't eat pork? God created pork, so on and so forth. But nobody really answers it properly. All right. Why is that? Why nobody really answers it properly? All right. Real quick, I forgot to put this right here. I ain't trying to get no notifications. But why nobody answered that properly? Because brothers just, I don't know, not getting the full understanding of when the Most High God says what? Pork is defiled. Pork is unclean. That means that pork is what? It's unhealthy. It's not healthy for anybody to eat, to consume. What's going to happen when you eat that? You get hookworms. You get these crazy parasites that literally starts to control you, starts to override you, starts to make you very emotional and operate wickedly. And these things, that's not convenient for anybody that the Most High God is trying to deal with. All right. And that those worms, they kill you, man. They make you get gout, right? Cholesterol, high blood pressure, whatever you may have, and you gonna end up dying. All right, because these worms are very hard to get rid of. These parasites. All right, that's one small thing right here. That's one aspect right there. But we could go with any and every commandment that the Most High God tells us not to do and to do, and we see there is a clear reason behind it. All right, and we just gonna go with sin, period, because sin is the transgression of the law, and we're gonna see what happens when you sin. Now let's go to ChatGPT right here. Right here, I had asked ChatGPT, can being completely immoral lead someone to insanity? Right? When you completely immoral is what? When you going against the morality that the Most High God gave us. Right? When you going against the heart, the his laws that he installed in us. So when somebody is immoral, they kill. When somebody is immoral, they steal, they lie, they murder. Right? They do all a bunch of abominable things. And these things, they are very immoral because they going against themselves, and that has an effect on the person that actually sin, that actually goes against the laws, that goes against righteousness, that goes against what is right. And we're gonna see what ChatGPT had to say, right? It says, yes, being completely immoral can absolutely lead a person towards insanity or severe mental instability, depending on how immoral behavior affects the conscious and psyche. Right? So it actually does completely lead a person towards insanity and severe mental instability. All right, and we're gonna see the points from Dr. GPT. All right, it says number one, conscious conflict, cognitive dissonance. You're gonna have a cognitive dissonance. How so? When someone repeatedly does things they know are wrong, it creates deep inner conflict. The mind tries to justify evil or suppress guilt, which can fracture one's sense of reality over time. So that's what happened. That's why people who starts doing wickedness, when you start doing nonsense as a kid, that's why the Most High God says you gotta chastise your son, you gotta teach him young, you gotta chastise your daughter, teach her young, and all that stuff. Because once a person starts doing things, it's gonna have a chain reaction in their mind, because they see what? They see that they never had no repercussion towards anything. Actually, let's get this real quick. They see that they had no repercussion in their mind. They start to keep on doing wickedly, right? Uh, is this right? Verse 4, Sirach chapter 5 and 4, it says, say not, I have sinned, and what harm has happened unto me? For the Lord is long suffering, he will in no wise let thee go. All right, so this is exactly why people be like, oh man, ain't nothing happened to me. Why ain't nothing? Why didn't I get judged? So the Most High God is like, yo, yeah, you ain't get judged, but you actually destroying yourself. How you destroying yourself? By actually making yourself becoming crazy. And we're going to see how ChatGPT breaks it down. All right. All the people that goes against the Most High God, they're going against, you're not going against the Most High, you're going against yourself. He created you to drive straight. He created you to follow if you're on a self-driven mode, just like the Tesla self-driven mode, for you not to go in and crash into the car. Don't just switch lanes wildly. You have to switch lanes by waiting and putting your signals on and everything. But guess what? People don't do that. People don't follow the rules. People don't stop at the red light. People don't stop at the stop sign. People just keep on going and say, I'm gonna be driven or drive however I want. So what ends up happening, you end up crashing, right? You end up crashing. And once you crash, guess what's gonna happen? The car you're good for nothing. You're good for nothing. You're good to get destroyed. You're good to get sent to a damn a junkyard. All right, that's what you're good for. Let's go back. So when you're going against the ways of the Most High God, this is what happens. This is exactly what happens. Number 2, it says loss of empathy and humanity. This is why Esau lost all empathy, They cannot relate to nobody. This is why any killers, right? Any killers, when you see a killer and or murderer, when you see them getting interviewed, these guys, they look remorseless, right? Like I'll say King Von, right? And let's use King Von. He was a serial killer. That man lost all empathy. He rapping about it. He making music, and he had no remorse, right? He had no remorse. I'm pretty sure he was battling with himself. He knows he called himself a demon because he had demons, right? He knows he had demons. He knows, and deep down, our people, you know you're doing wrong. But like it says in the first thing, the mind tries to justify the evil and suppress the guilt. That's what happened, which can fracture one's sense of reality over time. You keep on acting a certain way, you will fracture your own reality. You will fracture your brain. And guess what's going to happen? You're not going to function the same. You're going to be what? You're going to start becoming insane. You're going to start becoming insane. It says, number 2 says, immorality often involves ignoring or harming others. As empathy erodes, a person become emotionally detached, narcissistic, or sociopathic, all of which are mental and spiritual disorders. These things are spiritual disorders and mental disorders. That's what happens when you sin. That's why the Most High God don't want us to say. It's not just, oh, I said so, don't do it. No, it's not that, man. He created us. He found out all the ways of knowledge, and he gave it to Jacob, his servant, and Israel, his beloved. And us, we're supposed to go and teach the world. Everything has a purpose. The Most High God says, look, women, stop whoring around. Stop being a whore. Don't be a whore. You're only damaging yourself. I didn't build you to be a whore, to have many partners. I didn't build you to be like that. And guess what? When they do that, women, they lose themselves. They have so many personality disorders because they intake the DNA of the man through the seed of the man, the sperm, that goes to their brain, and it makes an imprint onto that woman's DNA, and now when they have a child with whomever they have a child, that child gonna take on multiple people's DNA when it's supposed to be only from two people. All right, the mother and the father. But then now, if the woman had 100 bodies, guess what? That kid gonna have 101 DNAs, and that's not good. That's gonna make the kid to grow up to be very confused, and he's already got that heart of malignity naturally, and then now that desire for him to go off is gonna be even stronger for that kid. Right? And that kid is just creating chaos. And this is why the Most High has to do what? Come and destroy this place. I had 2 precepts I was thinking in my head. Let me get this one first. All right. This is why the Most High has to come and destroy this place. Let's get this one real quick. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 4. And right, verse 28, it says, but as concerning the things whereof thou asketh me, I will tell thee, the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. The grain of evil seed has been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much ungodliness has it wrought up unto this time, and how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of the threshing come. So this is why the Most High God has to come and destroy this place. This is why, because since the time of Adam and to this day, it's even way more ungodliness happening. Like it just said, during the time of the threshing, it's going to be working way more ungodliness. And right now, we see it to this day. People are just doing whatever they want, doing what they will. And guess what that's bringing? More destruction. That I mean the destruction, not even more. It's already a destruction. The destruction is coming because people are just not caring. They changing the truth of the Most High God to a lie, saying, "Oh, come as you are. Oh, God made me this way." The Most High God did not make you a homosexual, right? He gave you over to a reprobate mind, like it says if we kept reading in Romans chapter 1, verses 25 on down, right? Gave you over to a reprobate mind because you didn't want to retain the truth of God. You don't want to retain the truth of God. Guess what's gonna happen? The Most High God's gonna give you over. It's just like, again, you know you're not supposed to murder. Everybody knows that. That's why whenever somebody does these things, these serial killers, what do? They hide. They hide these things that they do, man. They don't just do them and then they put it out in the open. Oh yeah, I just killed somebody. So nah, they don't do that. They don't put it out. Now some of them they do that on their raps, but that's a messed up thing in itself. But the guilt and all that stuff, that's them trying to express the guilt and trying to push it out of them. But these guys, they still have it. They don't try to advertise it per se in the right, literally open, right? Because they don't want to get in trouble. So the Most High, so they know they're doing wrong. So the Most High God said, look, man, the more time goes on, the more evil is going on, and people is going against the will of the Most High. People are literally growing insane. These so-called YNs, these so-called people right now, these people are insane. A lot of people are growing to be insane as the years go by. And why is that? It's because the love of many, actually, yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Matthew 24, right? It says, and because Matthew 24:12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. People don't love the way they should anymore. Don't love the way they used to anymore. Why? Because iniquity. People keep on going insane. People going against their nature, the nature that the Most High God have created us to be. Right? He created men to be upright, but they went after many inventions, like we read in Ecclesiastes 7:29. So again, these things, they have an effect on us. They have an effect on us, right? Mental and spiritual. Let's read number 3 real quick. It says spiritual corruption. Many faith, including biblical teaching, describe sin or wickedness as darkening the soul. Romans 1:28, there you go, right? Romans 1:28 says that when people reject what's right, the Most High gives them over to a reprobate mind, meaning a mind that can no longer discern truth from evil, spiritual insanity. You can become spiritually insane. That's why these people that say, "Oh, I was born this way," and all that, and all of a sudden you see them, they indulge fully, completely into that. They already knew there was something wrong. Even people who are very hypersexual, right? Even people who are very hypersexual, when they go lay down, or as a kid, they know not to. They know it's an act, right? Doing that deed, they know that deed. Like talking about heterosexual people, right? Even if it's a heterosexual person, at a young age, they go and do the deed. Guess what? They know it's wrong. They don't go and advertise it, really. Right now, they trying to advertise it because it's a cool thing because we're living in an insane world. But naturally, you don't want nobody to hear you. You trying to hide. You talking low. You trying to sneak around. You trying to sit. You trying to do these things sneakily because inside you know these things that's not for you as an adolescent, right? You know these things are not for you. So that's even so imagine even more so for the people who are the men with men, women with women, or orgy or bestiality or all these things. These things you already know these things are not for you. So we got to understand that and see how the spiritual corruption, insanity is, and these things, when we have these understanding, that's gonna help us avoid falling short. That's gonna help us avoid going against the ways of the Most High, because now we're seeing and understanding, and we're not just repeating, or we're not just what they call it. We're not just not knowing what to say. All right, we're not just living and reading the word and thinking that it's just fantasy, like they're trying to make it into religion. It's not. It's very much makes sense scientifically, spiritually, physically, mentally, all the way around. All right. Now let's read number 4. It says paranoia and fear. Persistent wrongdoing can breed paranoia, fear of being exposed, betrayed, or punished. That's why these serial killers, they grow to be even very paranoid, right? These rappers, or these killers in the hood or whatever, what do? They always whenever you do something wrong, you paranoid. You don't want to get caught by the boys. You don't want to get caught. You always watching over your shoulder, right? You don't want to get caught by the ops. Always watching over your shoulder, right? You don't want. That's how these things go. You're gonna grow, and that makes you more. That makes you paranoid. Grow fear. That's why the Most High God said, "I didn't give you over to a spirit of fear, because I'm liberating you from all these things. I'm showing you." Right? Let's go to Romans 7, real quick. Right? I'm showing you what sin is. Without you knowing what sin is, if you didn't know the laws, you would not know what sin is. The laws expose what it is that makes us go insane. The Most High God does not want us to be insane, and He has shown us examples of when people are proud and go against His word, and they literally go insane. Right? This is Romans chapter 7. I read verse 14. It says, For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. Right? We know the law is very spiritual. The law works the spirit realm, right? And the spirit realm affects the physical realm, right? And it's all about energies and frequencies and all that. And you rocking with the wrong ones, you damaging your frequency, how they say. Guess what? You're not gonna operate properly. It's like, again, the car, you putting the wrong gas in it, or the battery's not fully charged, or you put a wrong battery in it, you put the wrong tire, the wrong oil. Guess what? It's not gonna function properly. You make the wrong turn, right? You let the car run, you revving the car too much to a certain degree, you're gonna blow a gasket, man. You're gonna blow a gasket. So that's why the laws that the Most High God is exposing what's going on, right? The Most High God is exposing how He built us, right? How He had built us, the people, right? The human race. I'll read verse 19 and 20 real quick. It says, For the good that I would do, but the evil which I would not, that I do. Right? That's why we're the flesh. And that evil, when we keep on doing it, people like to make it, oh, just religion. No, it's actually having an effect on you. That effect is you're becoming insane little by little, but you are becoming insane. Some people are more than more. Right? You don't want to literally become insane and lose your mind. And we're going to read about it in the book of Daniel, somebody that literally became insane. And we know about people who literally became insane as well. Right? We're going to draw these examples. But let's keep reading real quick. Verse 20, it says, Now if I do that which I would not, it is no more that I do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of the Most High and the inward man, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind in bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. Right? The law of sin is in our members, and this is why the Most High God he exposed the laws of sin by showing us the laws of righteousness. Right? Where's that? I believe it should be over here as well. Where it says the law. If I didn't know, is it the next chapter? Because the laws of the Most High God exposes the laws of sin. Right. Let me see. Dang, I think I'm reading over it. I think I'm reading over it, but brothers should know the laws. The laws expose the laws of God expose the sin, right? Expose the laws of sin. If you don't know the laws of God, you're not gonna know that you're in sin, right? But so we gotta understand that again, the laws of the Most High God is keeping us sane. All right, when the Most High God tells us how to move, we have to move that way because this is how we are built, right? Excuse me. Let's go back to ChatGPT right here. Number 5. It says disconnection from reality. The more someone lives in deception, manipulation, or cruelty, the less they perceive reality truthfully. Eventually, they lose grounding, both morally and mentally. That's what happens. When you lose, you're going to lose your mind when you don't follow the ways of the Most High. The Most High God you literally gonna forget and forsake whatever is real. You're gonna be living in fear, and you're gonna be also a very cruel person, right? You literally gonna be manipulating people, lying all the time, and this is Esau to a T. Because these guys, they scared of revenge, right? They're scared because they done us so dirty. They living in paranoia, like it says in number 4. They scared of being exposed, betrayed, punished. They're scared of these things because of all the things that they've done. And as a nation, these guys, they inherited all these lies, all these wickedness within themselves, right? Because we all inherited wickedness, but these guys, they inherited heavy wickedness. And guess what? Because of that, these guys, that's why they move the way they do. That's why you see the cops, you say, put your hands up. You don't even got nothing in your hand. You got your phone in your hand. They start all of a sudden screaming, gun, and shoot you down. Right? You might just have Skittles in your hand. So you're going to get shot down. You might just have your hands and square up. Just because you squared up, they're going to shoot you down because they know you're able to beat them up. But guess what? That's all because they're insane. A sane person not going to move like that. Right? A person who's guiltless is not going to move like that. Imagine you see your ops, and your ops is just walking, and y'all come across one another, and he got his phone in his hand, and he's walking, he's talking hot. Guess what's gonna happen? You gonna a real so-called quote unquote gangster or a person like that, they just gonna shoot the ops. They're not even gonna listen to nothing that's being said. They're gonna shoot them but that's insane. That's insane. You're gonna shoot them just for no reason, literally. And that's what happens when you break the laws of the Most High. When you live outside of his laws, you're literally gonna live to be what? You're gonna live to become insane. You're gonna become insane, right? Let's read this right here. In short, moral corruption can destroy the mind because the conscious spirit and intellect are deeply connected. When the soul rots, the mind soon follows. Right? The soul rots, the mind gonna follow. You're gonna be very paranoid. You're gonna be very scared, and you gonna lose the sense of reality, man. Right? Lose all empathy, humanity. You're gonna have cognitive dissonance, all because you're not following what the Most High God tells you to do. And that's literally what sin leads you. Where sin leads you, it leads you to become insane. Let's go the Wisdom of Solomon real quick. Chapter 17. This whole chapter right here. Right? I'm gonna start at verse 1. I'm gonna jump around. Wisdom of Solomon 17:1. It says, "For great are thy judgments, and cannot be expressed. Therefore unnurtured souls have erred." When you're unnurtured soul, when you don't know what's going on, when you're not dealing with the laws of the Most High, you're an unnurtured soul. When you're living in sin, you grew up in sin, you grew up without the laws of God, you are an unnurtured soul. And you will err. You will err. You will live in error. And this is why this society is very much living in error, because the ones who are ruling, the ones who the ruling class, they themselves living in error, and they pushing those errors upon others who are inclined to live in their own errors, and they agree with the ruling class, and therefore this society now is living in error. Right, this is why the elect, the 144, this is why the Most High God have to come and flip everything upside down, right side up, I should say, like it said in 2nd Ezra 4. He has to flip everything right side up, and this place has to go, because the whole world is living in error. And we seen the Most High God done that before, right? During the times of Noah, the Most High God flipped the whole script on everybody. We seen the Most High God did that before. During the times of Tower of Babel, right? The rising of Babylon, the first Babylon with Nimrod, right? We seen the Most High God did these things before. We seen how the Most High God flipped the script on Pharaoh, like Wisdom of Solomon 17 it goes into, right? We know it's going into Pharaoh, but also it shows you what happens to the mind of a person who goes insane. All right, when you read this whole chapter really, all right? But we just gonna jump around. Let's read verse 2 real quick. All right, number 2 says, "For when unrighteous men taught to oppress the holy nation," right? Because that's wicked. That's going against the word of the Most High. Imagine you've got a sacred bloodline, you have kings or you have presidents, and you decide to oppress or to destroy so-called Donald Trump. Guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna have the FBI after you. You're gonna have CIA after you. You're gonna have Secret Service after you. And you can't even go to other countries, because you're gonna have a warrant after you by the what do they call those guys again? Not protocol, Interpol. I think that's what they call Interpol, right? The world's police or whatever. Right? Wherever you're at in the world, they're gonna come after you. So imagine with the Most High, you did wrong by the holy nation of the Most High. Wherever and whenever the Most High comes collect, he gonna come after you, right? And only an insane person gonna go and try to take out Donald Trump. Guess what happened to that man who tried to snipe him during his run last year, right? So-called, apparently, right? So-called, but let's go with the narratives for a second. But guess what happened with the narrative? That man got killed right on the spot, right? He got killed. So that's what happens with insane people. You're crazy for you. How you gonna think you're gonna take out the president? How you gonna think you're gonna take out somebody, the holy nation of the Most High, and not get judged violently? You crazy. You really are crazy for you to go after someone like of high stature and nothing gonna happen to you, right? It says this. It says, "They being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and fettered with the bonds of a long night, lay there exiled from the eternal providence." That's what happens. Your mind, you're gonna get locked up in you're gonna become a prisoner of darkness. That's what's gonna start. That's what's gonna happen to you, right? You're just gonna be engulfed with dark things, right? Things that's not convenient, right? Like it says in Romans 1:25 on down. You're gonna start involving yourself in things that's not good for you, and then the more you do so, the more you're gonna get trapped in that darkness, and the more when you get trapped in that darkness, the harder it'll be for you to come out, and you're gonna get destroyed at the end of the day, because hey, you chose this. You chose to not retain the ways of the Most High in your mind, and you're gonna get destroyed. And this is leading you to to insanity. Only an insane person gonna do that. You literally going against your own nature. You literally sinning against yourself. You're only doing wrong by yourself. Right? I'm gonna jump down real quick. Verse 12. Right? Wisdom of Solomon 17:12. For fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors. I don't know how they say it in English, but sukur, which reason offers, right? The succors, that's a French word, right? And that's saying a savior, right? Something to come and save you, right? So it says fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors, which reason offereth. What does that mean? That means fear only comes. You're really gonna start fearing only when you see those lies you've been lying to yourself, or those things that you've been having in your mind, as if the safety net you have in your mind, like, talking about, that's not really gonna happen. I'll be all right. Somebody gonna come and help me. The light gonna turn on in that while I'm in that dark room. Ain't nothing around me or whatnot. But when that reason is not true, you see that the reasoning isn't true. You have no saviors. Guess what? You're gonna start literally losing your mind. Literally losing your mind. So when you are operating in fear, that's why the Most High don't give us over to a spirit of fear. We only fear the Most High because the Most High God is no great. There's no one after him or before him, right? He's the only one literally worthy to be feared. Because if you fear the darkness, there's light. The darkness, there's nothing in the darkness. Literally, it's just void of nothing. Right? But if you fear the Most High, he can have, because he has that long suffering and merciful heart, and you can trust assured that he can help you in any and every situation. Any and every, you get shot, you good. That ain't nothing gonna happen to you unless he wants to, right? You drink poison, you good. It's not gonna happen to you unless the Most High God wants to. Right? But any other thing you trust in, it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. That fear might come to true. That fear might overtake you. Right? That fear might overtake you. You do a bunch of nonsense in the world, right? You like, look at King Von. I believe he died at, I'm gonna keep using that brother, right? But he died at 26. That brother thought, he didn't know. He didn't believe when Yahushua said you live by the sword, you're gonna die by the sword. When Yahushua said that to Peter, he didn't believe that. I'm pretty sure he heard that you live by the gun, you die by the gun. And guess what happened to him? He died by the gun. But he thought he was gonna live past that day that he passed. He thought he was gonna live to 27, 28, so on and so forth. And if he didn't, and if he knew that he was gonna die at a very young age, that's very insane. His mind was already gone. He was already an insane person. He was already not there. Right? If he already knew that he was gonna die, yeah, I'm gonna die young, but fuck it, I'm just living. So excuse my friends, but yeah, I'm just living my life. I'm just doing this, doing that. Hey, guess what? That's insane. You're already insane. That means you living with no repercussion. You're not You don't, you completely insane. You could do anything and everything. So a person like that is not trustworthy. A person like that can do anything. A person like that can flip and do whatever it is. So that's why he ended up getting judged the way he got judged. Right? He was insane. And there are very much examples of people who are insane in the scripts. Right? Um I'm gonna read this real quick. Verse 20 and 21, right? Wisdom of Solomon 20 and 21. Wisdom of Solomon 17, verses 20 and 21. It says, for the whole world shined with clear light, and none were hindered in their labor. Right? That's, I know, again, we know what is, we know everything is double to that which is. I know, we know what it's going into, but also it's giving you an example, showing you the mind of the Most High, how you walk, the world is supposed to walk in the light of the Most High, right? But only what? Verse 21, over them only was spread in heavy night. Over those wicked people who are sinning, you're gonna be in a heavy night. You're gonna be in darkness. And imagine of that darkness which should afterward receive them. But yet were they unto themselves more grievous than the darkness. Only the people who, when you go against the light, because we know the word of the Most High is the light. His word is pure. But when you go against that, guess what happens? You're going to be in darkness. And only those people are going to be in darkness. You don't want to follow the commandments. You don't want to do what he tells you. You want to do whatever you want. Guess what? You're going to be in that darkness. Only you. That darkness is going to overtake you. And it's going to be very grievous unto you. So the Most High God is not playing. He's telling us exactly what's going on. Right? That's what sin is. That's what commandments do. The commandments are. Right? It's not about, religion. Forget religion. Religion nowadays is nonsense, man. Well, whatever religion it is you're practicing, and people are trying to turn the truth into a religion as well. That's nonsense. Without understand why the Most High God says the things that he says. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 3 real quick. Alright? We're gonna wind down soon. This is Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 18. It says, I said in mine heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that the Most High might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. The Most High God is manifesting the people that they are beasts. He's letting them know, look, man, you are a beast. How does he do so? When he gives you over to a reprobate mind, you're going to call yourself a beast. You're going to say, yeah, I'm a demon. You're a demon. Yeah. The demon this, demon that, beast this, beast that. You know? Right? I'm a gangster. I'm a this, I'm a that. All these things that's you giving yourself over, that's the Most High giving you over to a reprobate mind. Right? You don't want to retain the word of the Most High God. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to be given over to these reprobate minds. Right? And it even goes to the complete extent. And that's why we see Esau. Right? Esau is the craziest beast. These guys, they are the most insane people on earth. Most insane. We see a Shedemite will start crying, and a person will believe them. Right? But they just lying through their teeth and trying to get you jammed up for no reason, because they have that guilt, because they are beasts. Like, they don't care about nothing, right? They don't realize what's going on, and they have gone insane. They have lost their mind. They are beasts like. Right? Let's go to let's read this real quick. Right? So I asked ChatGPT to do both right here. All right, because they asked me, would you like me to show how this idea appears in scripture and psychological studies, or both? I said both, right? As in the scripture, it says the Bible clearly connects immorality with mental and spiritual decay. Romans 1:28. And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. That's what happens. You're gonna start doing things that's not convenient. You're gonna kill people. You're gonna commit adultery, right? You sleeping with a bunch of women, or women you sleeping with a bunch of men. These things are not convenient. Cause why yes, the sweet pleasures of sleeping with someone is very sweet. Everyone likes it, but guess what? Um, you doing it in a way that's not convenient. It you just doing stuff. You just doing it in vain, and you transferring your energy, transferring your DNA, you all over the place with no fruits. And you imprinting yourself onto, like, as a man, you imprinting yourself onto another man's child. And you yourself might have gotten imprinted on by 20 different men. And as a woman, you're literally gonna lose your mind, because you take on, because women, they naturally followers, right? Whether they admit it or not. And whenever they have many partners, they take on all these partners, characters, whether they knew them, whether it was a one night stand, whatever it may be. They take on that person's character through the person's DNA, through the sperm. So again, you make doing things that's not convenient, and these things are they're gonna drive you insane. And you making soul ties and things like these things gonna drive you insane. That's why it's not good to do these things, right? It's literally gonna turn you to be insane. You're gonna start before you know it. You're gonna say, "Oh man, I'm not sad." That's what they say about a lot of NBA players. They say, NBA players, the world is so open unto them, and women just fall at their feet, and they have the baddest, so-called, quote-unquote, baddest bees, baddest female, the nicest females, nice bodies, face, everything, smell good, nice build, so on and so forth. They have them all the time. They dog them out, and then they like, man, I want something more. They want something more. So when they say they want some more, you know what that means? They start diving into trannies. Now, trannies is too much for them. They like, man, some more, something else. Now they diving into straight men. I mean, not straight men. They dive into men, straight up men. They go into that. Now, after that, they like, man, they want some more. They go into bestiality, whatever it may have. But these guys, they start losing their mind more and more and more until they completely lose it. That's what happens. Proverbs 28, number 2 says, Proverbs 28:1, the wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. Immorality breeds paranoia, even when no one is after them. Guilt and fear chase the wicked. That's what chases Esau. That's why Esau moves the way they do. Guilt and fear, right? They fleeing because no man, even though we're not pursuing them right now. We're just trying to live. As a people, the so-called blacks and Latinos, they literally just trying to live. But Esau is so paranoid because of all the bull crap that they've done to our people. We see that how they moving, and they still moving because they're insane, right? All the things that they've done have driven them insane as a people. Isaiah 5:20, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. When someone's morality flips, their sense of truth collapses. Moral insanity. That's what happens. You become morally insane when you flip the truth. You justifying the wicked. Guess what happens? You become an abomination, unto the Most High God. Let me see. This is Proverbs chapter 17, verse 15. It says, he that justifieth the wicked and he that condemneth the just, even they both are abomination to the Lord. You justifying the wicked, you flipping the script. You saying Esau is this. Hey, you're an abomination. You're insane. It's clearly these people are wrong in the way they're moving. Clearly, a homo thug is wrong. Clearly, you cannot procreate. There's nothing good about that. It's just pure lust, burning in lust. And there's nothing procreate. There's no procreation. That's the purpose of sex. Procreation. Yes, it's good. It's very enjoyable, right? You can have your fun with it as well with your partners, your lawful partners, not by diving into this, diving into that, doing this. That's not good. That's not good. The Most High God did not create us to be like that. And that's going to drive you to insanity. Right? And you're not supposed to justify the wicked or condemn the just. All right. Ephesians 4:19, verses 18 and 19. It says, having the understanding, having the understanding darkened. It's like having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of the Most High, who being past feeling have given themselves over unto lasciviousness. That's again, you give yourself over to wicked, and you alienating yourself, right? you drawing yourself away from the Most High, right? From His purpose. Spiritual, now it says spiritual desensitization, a numb conscience that leads to irrational and destructive behavior. That's what these things do. That's what it does when you go against the ways of the Most High. You literally become insane. When the Most High God tells you don't do certain things, He's not telling you for no reason. It's for your own good. That's why it says, I put before you life or death. Choose what you want. Look, you're not doing... did I get that? Let me get Job 35. All right? Okay. I believe I did get it, but let's get it again. Right? Verse 6. If thou sinneth, what does thou against him? If thy transgression be multiplied, what dost thou unto him? If thou be righteous, what givest thou him? Or what receivest he of thine hand? Right? Thy wickedness may hurt a man as thou art, and thy righteousness may profit the Son of Man. That's it. You're not doing nothing against the Most High God does not gain from your righteousness, no, from your wickedness. He loves us, right? And He wants us to be right. He wants all of His creation. He wants the whole earth to be right, to be in order. And guess what? He gave us the ways. And He says, look, if you don't do this, you're gonna become insane, bro. And when you become insane, let's get this. When you become insane, you're gonna become like this. Let's go straight to the point. This is Daniel chapter 4 and verse 28. All this came upon the king Nebuchadnezzar. At the end of the 12 months, he walked in the palace of the king of Babylon. The king spake and said, is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? Right? This man was boasting of he was proud. Right? He was boasting and proud. And when the Most High God just warned him, right? It says this, while the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever He will. The same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hairs were grown like eagle's feathers, and his nails like birds' claws. This man, he literally went against the ways of the Most High. The Most High God literally just warned them in a dream, warned them not to do these things, not to boast and think that it's of him, of his own strength, that he gained the kingdom, he gained the whole earth. But he said, look, he turned around a day later, month later, however long later it was, right? Like he said in the 12, at the end of the month that he had the dream. And this man just what? He went and started boasting, literally being delusional. And the Most High God gave him completely over to a delusional state. And that delusional state that he was given over to was what? He became literally like a beast. He crawling, eating with the beasts and all that stuff. He literally became like a beast, like a zombie. This man literally lost his mind. The Most High God gave him over to a reprobate mind to the fullest. And that's an example of how this thing can happen. And this is what sin leads to. And we know about Esau. We had to reteach. Then we have to teach Esau how to eat, how to be clean again. These guys were completely insane, living amongst nonsense, like during the dark ages, so-called dark ages, right? We had to teach them how to be clean, how to even speak again. These guys, they lost a whole lot because they were insane. We know how the Roman Empire was very wicked, right? The first Rome, right? Not the Roman Republic, but the Roman Empire. And we know how the Greek Empire as well was very wicked. These guys, and the Most High God did what? He gave them over to a reprobate mind to the point where these guys literally became very unsanitary, very beast-like, and these guys, they even lost their speech. We seen how the Most High God moves. So that's what sin brings you to. That's what the whole point, the whole purpose of the Most High God tell us: don't sin, choose life, don't choose death, and you're only affecting yourself. It's because of that. It's not just God says so, right? It's not just that. The Most High God, everything have a real reason, a real purpose. Right? I'm gonna read number 5 real quick, and then we're gonna wind down. It says, Psalms 36, verses 1 to 4. Says, describes the wicked man as one who deviseth mischief upon his bed. His heart and mind are consumed by iniquity, leaving no rest or peace. And that's these damn heathens, right? That's Nebuchadnezzar. Excuse me. That's these damn heathens. How they left they didn't care about nothing, right? The Most High God, okay, you don't want to care about nothing. You just devising evil. I'm going to give you over to a reprobate mind. I'm going to give you over to that evil heart of yours. I'm going to harden your heart all the way. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to get destroyed at the end of the day. You're going to get destroyed. Let's get this real quick. Proverbs 27. Proverbs 27 and verse 22 says, Though thou shouldest bray a fool and a martyr among wheat with a pestle, yet will not his foolishness depart from him. Let's get another version so that brothers can understand what's being said. Right? I believe I'm going to get GMB real quick. It says, even if you beat fools half to death, you still can't beat their foolishness out of them. This is how bad it is when a person has gone insane, when a person don't want to be righteous. Hey, we could beat them halfway to death. They still not gonna leave their foolishness. That's why Esau gotta go. That's why the Bible says, the scripture says, these people, they gotta go. That's why the scripture says the whole world have to be destroyed by Yahushua and his angels and the elect men who the 144, his army. That's why. Because the wicked, they gotta get their judgment, man. Let's go to Jeremiah again, Jeremiah 12 again. Right? It says, Jeremiah 12 and 1 this time. It says, righteous art thou, O Yahweh, when I plead with thee. Yet let me talk with thee of thy judgments. Wherefore does the way of the wicked prosper? Wherefore are all they happy that deal very treacherously? Thou hast planted them, yea, they have taken root. They grow, yea, they bring forth fruit. Thou art near in their mouth and far from their reigns. They, Most High is near in there because they always say, God, this God, that God bless America. But they fall, the Most High is far from their reigns. They're really not about that life. They're really wicked. They're really going against about everything the Most High God is about. Verse 3 says, but thou, O Yahweh, knowest me, that thou hast seen me and tried mine heart towards thee. Pull them, right? Pull them out. Pull the wicked, right? Pull them out like sheep for the slaughter, and prepare them for the day of slaughter. That's what's gonna happen, man. They gotta get destroyed. They gotta get slaughtered. That's the only thing that's the end of an insane person. An insane person gotta get put in inside of an asylum. An insane person gotta get the needle. You're a serial killer. You gotta get the needle, man. An insane person gotta get 99 years to life. Right? You keep on stealing everybody's money and lying and deceiving and doing all these things. Guess what? You gotta get 99 years to life. In the afterlife, you're gonna get another 99 years as well. That's why you don't give in to sin, so that you don't lose your mind. Because when you lose your mind, it's over. Right? It's over. Unless the Most High God sees it fit to bring you back, like he saw it fit for Nebuchadnezzar to come back. He saw it fit for Esau to come back to his what we would call, quote unquote, sanity, to be civil. I say civilized, right? To civilize Esau again, right? But the wicked heart, when you following the wicked heart, you're only gonna destroy yourself. You're gonna destroy every like again, back to the Tesla. If the Tesla don't want to follow the direction, the Tesla gonna destroy these other cars that's on the road as well. Right? You're gonna crash into them. You're gonna crash into the walls, the dividers. Your car gonna flip upside down and burn. Shoot! Earlier today, on the highways there was a line of cars that was crashed, and one of them was on fire. I'm willing to bet the one that was on fire, that's the one that caused everybody to crash. Because the one that was on fire was one young cat that was driving it. I seen him on the side of it, looking at the car. I could tell that was his car, and it was just him. He looked like a racer type, and the car was looking like a racing type of car. But the other cars was family. I saw a family outside the door, outside their cars. I seen another car that was just regular car, but the car that was burnt up, he was the one that was more than likely. I don't know very exactly, but I'll say I'm willing to bet that's the one that caused the crash. But that's the thing. You don't only jam up yourself, you jam up everybody. All right? When you're insane, you're not safe. You're not a safe person to be around at all. So that's why the Most High gotta get rid of you. So that's the purpose of sin. That's the purpose of the law. That's the purpose. Well, the purpose of the law is to show us what sin is. So, Most High willing, this was edifying. Most High willing, brethren, we'll take this and apply it to our lives with better understanding, so that we can, make our election and calling sure. And with that, Yahweh Shabakatam, Shalom, Kum Yashab.